Hi knitters, how are you? It's November 19th and it's a beautiful, crisp, cold, sunny day here in Madison. I think it's about 29 degrees today. I thought my house is kind of quiet and I have so much stuff to share, and I thought I would jump on and do a quick podcast and catch up with all of you and hope that you're doing well and that your knitting's going really well too. So I'll dive right in. I have been traveling a little bit and teaching this fall, and I have a lot of stuff I've kind of collected from those teaching events. I guess in September I headed out and I taught at the Webb's retreat. So this is their second annual retreat, and it was held on the campus of UMass, the University of Massachusetts. We stayed at this cute little university hotel where it's student run, so all of the staff were young college students, and I couldn't have felt more at home. I live in Madison, Wisconsin. We have this huge campus here in town, and I'm often amidst a lot of students, and my own kids are about that age too, so I really, really enjoyed it. They did everything from the cooking to the check-in to the, if you called the concierge about something. So I really enjoyed that. And I taught with Olga Jazzy. I can't remember exactly how to say her last name, but I have to learn that because I think I'm teaching somewhere else with her too. Coming up, I really adore her. And Ann Hansen was the other instructor, and Josh Bennett was the other instructor. So it was a real, and of course, Franklin Habit. Now it was a while ago, so it's all coming back to me. Franklin Habit was the main speaker, and he also taught classes too. So there were 4 instructors, and everything was held right in this hotel. I went running on campus in the morning before I had to start teaching, so that was really fun. It went really fast, and it was a great time, and I enjoyed especially teaching with Anne, and I enjoyed teaching with all of them, but I had not met Ann Hansen before. I have met Olga a couple times, and I've met Josh before very briefly at Vogue Knitting Live because he teaches at a lot of those. So anyway, it was a great time, and I really loved it, and I really recommend that retreat if you ever get the chance to go to that. It's very well run. Amy Greenman was the one who kind of was in charge of the whole thing, and she's fantastic. I've known her for over a decade now, and she used to work at Story Publishing, and so I knew her through book publishing things. So anyway, it was a great event, and I had a good time. So at the end of that, it ended on Sunday. Jan Hamby picked me up, and she does the Twin Set podcast. Am I saying that right? The Twin Set podcast with Ellen and Jan, and they are wonderful, and they're identical twins. But anyway, Jan picked me up and drove me up to Kennebunkport, Maine, where or Kennebunk, I guess it is, Maine, where I went and attended the Knitting Pipeline Retreat with Paula Emmons-Feasley. She's the host of that one. It's a 4-day retreat in just this adorable setting where it's a very simplistic setting, and you have this little room. It's not fancy, it's not luxurious or anything, but it's just kind of fine. All of it's really good, and there's a big meeting room where everybody gathers. I think there are about 50 people in attendance at that retreat. There are, if you walk out of the thing that you stay at, the little, it's almost, I don't even know what it's called. It's like there's like a big building with a lodge and a kitchen, and we eat together. Some meals you get to have free time. Paul's events are so wonderfully planned that you get a lot of free time to do what you like, but then you also have a lot of together time and time to just knit and chat, and loved it so much. But if you walk out the driveway of the place that we stay, if you turn one way, you walk a couple blocks and you're at the ocean, and you can run or walk along the ocean for miles and miles. And if you go the other way, you walk a few blocks down and you're in this great little type of resort area where there are restaurants, shops, places to eat, delis, little markets that you can go to and pick up snacks and a salad, or things like that. So I absolutely love it there. This is the third time I've been to that retreat, and I'm hoping I get to go next year too. Not sure yet, but I'm really hoping I can attend next year too, because it really is one of my favorite times. And I've taught at it a couple times, but this time I went and I just was an attendee, and that's the first time I've ever done that in my life. And I loved it so much. And then at the end of that, I went, and so while I was there, so I brought things to knit on. I took a Fair Isle class from Donna Kay, which was really fun and wonderful. And then I started a project there that I had wanted to get going on, and what I did was I knit Sven. This is a project designed by Carol Anderson. Carol is an Wisconsin native, and she is in her 80s, early 80s, and I actually got to meet her, and we went out and had coffee at Panera one day. She was coming through Madison. She had been to the Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. And I had become really interested in this project for a couple of reasons. The first one is that I was teaching a class, and I had one of my students say, "Are you familiar with the Sven and Solveig knit dolls?" And I said, "No, I'm not familiar with those." So this was quite a while ago, and so I think I went home. I wrote it down. I wrote myself a note. I came home and I looked up Sven, and I saw this pattern. I thought, "Oh, that's very cute. I should look into that." And I didn't look into it. But then, not long after that, a few months after that, Lori Graham of Lori times 5, and it's all written out, Lori, Lori times TIMES 5 FIVE on Instagram. You should go follow her because she's amazing. Everything she knits, I want to knit. She was doing this whole finding out about her heritage type trip to Norway. She's Norwegian, and she found these Sven and Solveig dolls, and she knit them. And she did such a beautiful job of knitting them that it totally sent me over the top. And I decided right then and there, oh my gosh, I have to knit these and I have to do something with them. So I ordered the booklet, the Sven and Solveig booklet. It's called Sven Scandinavian, and mine has a big huge coffee stain right there on it, so I apologize for my coffee stain. But the pattern only comes in booklet form, and I ordered it from Carol Anderson, and this one has all my crazy notes and things in it. So I did a lot of little tweaking and modifications on Carol's original pattern. And like here on the back, I wrote down all the yarn amounts that I did. Carol's daughter, Carrie, did these adorable sketches for the pattern. The pattern came out in either 83 or 81? 83. But anyway, so I brought this along. I wound up a bunch of yarn, and I had this little bag of locks that I was going to use for Sven's beard. And I knit away on this at the Knitting Pipeline Retreat in Maine, and so I actually finished Sven. I think I cast on a Sunday I cast on, and by Wednesday I finished this doll, and it was a lot of knitting. I mean, I also knit a Fair Isle hat in that time too, so I didn't knit on it the entire time, but most of the time I knit on this doll that we were there, that I was at the retreat in Maine. And It's really a fun knit. So we're getting the, more of these booklets in on Barrett Wool Co. I should have them by the end of the week coming up here, so you can get them over on barrettwoolco.com if you're looking for a place to order your booklet. And anyway, so here's my doll that I did. And then when I finished Sven, I immediately cast on for Solveig. So this is Solveig. But again, check out Lori × 5, her dolls. I definitely was totally used her dolls as inspiration. They're not exactly the same, but you know, I really loved her dolls. So I took a lot of little inspiration from hers too. And so that's really fun. And I did Fair Isle hats for both of them. So you can see the back where I did the decreases, but on the front it's really fun. So I just used Carol's pattern. I'm gonna do a bunch of blogging about all of the modifications that I made for these dolls. So those are really cute and fun. They're about 10 inches in height, not including the long stocking cap. So from the top of the head to the feet, they're about 10 inches tall. So that's really fun. We had kits at Barrett Wool Co. that were just released on Friday, and they sold out in under an hour. We had a lot of kits too, and it was absolutely crazy. So we'll try to get those back in stock as soon as possible, but I will have the booklets available too. So you can just get the booklets, and then when the kits come back in stock, you can get those too. So anyway, so that was really fun. Oh, I had this little sheep. Someone at the Maine Knitting Pipeline Retreat handed out these sheep that were made on a 3D printer. And when I got up and was doing something else, and I came back to my seat and I had one of these little sheep, everybody at the retreat got one of these sheep, and this was sitting at my seat when I got back. And I don't know exactly who passed them out, but it's really cute, and I kind of keep it now in my studio. It's kind of giving like a wave there, or a little high five. Could be too, you know. Not sure. So anyway, the Sven and Solveig, that was really fun. That was my big kind of treat to myself. And if you do end up knitting them, I'm gonna be talking about all kinds of things, tips and tricks. Just so you know, they're knit. I stitched the stocking cap on, but the head's started up here. You knit from the top down. The face is cleverly knit right in. And then you do a little decrease, and you do this sweater just as you would a top-down yoked sweater. Put the arms on some waste yarn, and then you knit on down. The pants are picked up and knit right under the rib of the sweater, and then the pants are knit down. You knit down a bit, one leg at a time. You knit the sock and the boots, little shoes in here are knit right in, and then you close up there. Come up here, knit the sleeves, and then you pick up and knit the mittens in. The hat's knit separately, and like I said, I knit the hat completely in a separate piece, and then I stitched it down. After I stitched it down, I put in the beard, and I put in some little hairs coming out of his cap here, and then I made some eyebrows on there. I love all that little detail. And then Solveig is knit exactly the same way. Instead of, and in addition to, you make a bit of a skirt for her. Both the dolls are in this one pattern booklet of Carol's. And then I knit some stripy tights underneath the skirt and put socks and shoes on. It's knit exactly the same way. What I did for, I'll talk about it more in detail, but I put the braids on later, and I also knit a scarf, and she has a cute little sweet smile, if you can see it on here. So anyway, those are cute. I'm going to be blogging about all the modifications and things that I did differently, a little bit differently. I mean, I didn't change too much, but just kind of I changed some of the lengths. I did it at a much finer gauge, that kind of thing. So they look, they're nice and kind of refined. I think they have a nice, charming look to them. So there's that. And then I just want to make sure it was still recording. I just kind of have things spread out around me. So I'm just going to start going through them. when I taught at the Signature Needle Arts Retreat, and it was held. Signature Needle Arts is a company that is located right in Wisconsin. I think they're in Kenosha. I get that. I think either I want to say Sheboygan, but I believe it's Kenosha, which is close to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it's another Wisconsin company, which I love. And that was really fun. Romy Hill was there, and Ann Budd, and Kate Atherley was the other teacher there. And I loved teaching with them. I have taught with them all of those fine ladies before. But it was a really nice retreat. I love Lake Geneva. Unfortunately, it rained the entire weekend that we were there, so there was not a lot of outdoor time. Here we were on this just fantastic, beautiful lake in Wisconsin, quaint little resort town of Lake Geneva, and I did go out one morning and I walked quite a ways around the lake, and I was soaking wet by the time I got back, but I had to do it. I have a hard time if I don't get outside, so I did it anyway, and I don't regret it. It was really nice. But I wanted to share quickly, I just purchased Kate Atherley's new mitten book. It's called Knit Mitts, and it's a great handy guide to knitting mittens and gloves. And it's one of these books that has charts. Like these are quantity of yarn requirements. It's one of these, it's like an Ann Budd style book with kind of every gauge, let me see if I can find some stitch counts. I'll just show it real briefly, but it has one of these, giant chart type, like this whole page here is just a giant chart. So it's that kind of book where you basically would never have to buy another mitten book again, but she also has full patterns. So you have basically all the tools you'd ever need. Some beautiful red cabled mittens. Those are really cute. I might have to make those. It's in a worsted weight. Wow, those are really cute. So my camera shut off and I'm back again, but I just want to finish up. This is a great book by Kate Atherley, and you really should check it out. It might really give you some great ideas for your mitten knitting, which is, of course, one of my favorite patterns. I had to put my sweater on in between trying to get my phone to have more space on it so I could keep recording. So I guess I was talking about the Signature Needle Arts Retreat in Lake Geneva, and that was really fun. I had some great students there, some really fun classes, and I had a really nice time teaching there. I got some little gifts there that I love, but this is one that I especially love. It's this great notebook, and one of my students gave this to me, and she's the owner of a yarn shop in, I think they're in Ohio, and it's 614 Knit Studio, and I thought that was a very sweet gift. Oh yeah, here I have her card. Andrea Panzica and Jennifer Flunker, and they are in Columbus, Ohio. So anyway, I love that. It has this great, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the knit stitch is kind of imprinted on the front of the Sewell notebook. So I thought that was a great gift, and I kind of been taking some notes in there. I keep my pencil right in there, which is fun. So that's a fun one. So that was a fun event too. And then lastly, I ended up in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the home of the Grocery Girls, and I met Hohi Locatelli and Ann Budd, and I all taught at a retreat that was in partnership with the Ann Budd Knit for Fun retreats and the River City Yarns, which is a local yarn shop there. They kind of banded together and put on this fantastic retreat, and they are going to be doing it again next year too, so you can definitely check that out if you're interested in going to Canada or if you're in that area. So there were students from all over. In fact, one student actually came all the way from Australia, and she was adorable. I think her name was Brenda, if I'm remembering correctly, and she was there with her husband, and she was just so sweet and adorable, and I loved meeting her so much. So that was really fun to meet have someone come to Canada all the way from Australia for a retreat. That's pretty cool. So I'll get into that a little bit too. That one, there were so many gifts and prizes and all sorts of things going on. I won't possibly get to everything that happened there, and some of these are from other retreats too, and some of them are from some things I was going to share from Maine too. So I'll see how it goes. But this was a beautiful yarn that was called Sand and Sky. This was for, I think this was a signature retreat by Forage Color, and everybody got a skein of this yarn in their goodie bag, and it's a fingering weight. It's a merino silk, I guess, so that's kind of fun. I like it. That's kind of neat. I may end up giving that away at some point, so I'll keep it nice and in the bag here that I got it in. Oh, when I was at the Maine retreat, so I'm going to be jumping around probably from those different retreats because I have just this huge bag of stuff, and I just kind of crammed it all in there. But I got this cute little Maine pin that's from Seashore Sharon, and she sewed this such a cute little project bag, and I love that when it has you can't even see it. It has the tape measure for the ties on the drawstring ties on the front. This is cute too. I've not seen one like that where the ends are left open and then the drawstring just kind of pulls in this middle section. So that's really cute. So that was from Seashore Sharon, and I love it with the lobster theme for Maine. Wonderful. I didn't say at the end of the Maine retreat, my husband and my son picked me up. They flew out to Maine, and then we went to the Maine dye house where our home fingering weight yarn is dyed. So that was a really fun adventure. We get to see our yarn was actually there getting dyed when we were there, so the home line, and we've since received that, and we have a lot of exciting things coming up with that, so I'm really excited about it. But that was really fun to get to see that on the machines and being skeined up and all that. It was so exciting. Now, when I was at the Maine retreat also, we took 2 classes. So I mentioned before, Donna Kay came and taught a colorwork Fair Isle hat class, and that was really fun. And then the other class that was so exciting was that the Brooklyn haberdashery owner, and guess what? I'm going to blank on her name. She's wonderful, and you can look her up on Instagram, and it's Brooklyn Haberdashery, so you can look her up. And I think, and obviously she has a very wonderful website, but I kind of went crazy because she then set up a little pop-up shop, and I think Paula got me some of these needles too as a gift. Paula did those, but in here, this great little case are all these different needles to work on. They come all in this tube. Some of them are straight, and then some of them have the bent tip, which I love. I'm dropping them everywhere. I haven't had much time to do much stitching, but I got this little notions pouch with, she prints on there, and then she does the stitching. But we took an embroidery class from the owner of the Brooklyn Haberdashery, and it was really fun, and we worked on all sorts of stitches. And I bought a lot of stuff from her pop-up shop because I was really kind of crazy about it. So she has this printed fabric that she did, and her label is here. And then I love the leather on here, and this heavy wool felt. And this is just a little notions pouch. You could stick your scissors or, you know, any of your needles or things in there. There's this nice pouch here. Yeah, I really love that. So I also have a bag that I didn't bring over here with me that I got, kind of a shoulder tote, and I've been kind of using that as a purse. Ever since I got home, I've been bringing that everywhere with me, so I really love it. And that's a linen printed fabric. I'm just combining words today. This is an adorable pin cushion. Has a wooden base and kind of this wool felt ball on top. the pins in it. I love that. Oh, I got so much stuff here. And then Paula got some of this hand-dyed string for your stitching, and then she gave me a little bit of it to take with me because there was only one skein of it. But I love that, and I'm so excited to use it. I got these adorable needle thread holders. They're these girls, and then you can wind the thread around in 3 spaces, you know, like here, here, and here, to store your threads. I bought this beautiful thread from Paris to stitch with. I mean, I have a bag of stuff here that I got, so. And, oh, I got a needle set, all these needles for stitching, embroidery needles. So cute. She has just the cutest things. I got a couple more of these thread holders. And then I see that my thread is kind of dumped out of the bag here. So I got all this thread to stitch with, which I'm really excited about. These colors. It's beautiful stitching thread. I love these bags, these crinkly bags. That's kind of fun. I'll show you the project we worked on in class. Oh, I got some onion dyed fabric here to, it's a fat quarter onion skin dyed cotton Oxford to do some stitching. So in class we each got a piece of denim, and then we stitched away. Oh, I have my needle still in there too, but we stitched away. So this is what we worked on in class, and we tried all of these different techniques. It's boro influenced stitching, and I liked the way she just wasn't worried about if the back was neat and tidy. You can use this for mending, and she had all kinds of samples that we got to look at, and it was just really fascinating and fun. I really enjoyed it. It was probably one of my favorite parts of that entire retreat. Oh, this is a thread holder too. You can loop your thread through there for storage. I got a lot of little storage things. This is a fat quarter indigo dyed fat quarter, so that'll be really fun to stitch on. I have some jeans that I want to do some stitching on. Oh, and then I have some little fabrics, and this is another thread holder. I got this ring pin cushion, which is so cute. I thought that might come in handy. Has a loop on the bottom. And then what's in here? Oh, I bought a bunch of these fabrics. You could buy these different groupings of fabrics. Now this is getting me all excited about this again because I haven't even looked at it because I've been so busy since I got home. It's another cute thimble thread holder. So anyway, I have this all in a bag, and I'll bring my tote another time and show you that because that's really fun to look at too, because she even does the leather work on it, and it has this kind of these 2 leather straps. And that one I love because it can be worn as either a backpack or a regular. You can have it over your shoulder as a regular bag. I have it all in this Webb's bag that I got from their retreat, this cotton muslin bag. So I'm storing that all in there. I have Seashore Sharon's beautiful bag with me there too. Up in Edmonton, we were gifted as instructors one of these remembrance pottery sock mugs, which are so cute. They're kind of hand stamped, and then it's a clay piece that then is formed into a mug, and then the handles on them. I think the grocery girls use these all the time, and they talk about them. So I love how mine's kind of oval shaped too. So it's really kind of very unique and sweet. And I, of course, love all the socks on there. So that was a really nice gift, and I love it very much. I had pulled out a stitchery project that I wanted to start. I've been ordering some stitching stuff from French General, and they're also on Instagram. That's a really fun feed to follow, and I love their website and all their things. So this is a linen tea towel, and it's pretty nice size. And I washed it and then I ironed it, and now I'm starting some stitching on it. And so I have, oh, this was also a gift from Seashore Sharon. It's hard to say, Seashore Sharon. She just sews for fun. She doesn't sell them or have a shop, but she had these are from a pair of Madras shorts, and she made it into a little project bag. I've used it nonstop. She sent it to me and I've used it nonstop. But I have these autumnal kind of variegated threads in here that I'm going to be making all my autumn leaves on this tea towel. Then I'm not sure what I'm going to leave it as a tea towel, because every time you wash it, it gets really wrinkled. So you almost have to iron it to use it again. So I'm thinking I'm going to possibly make this into more of a quilted piece. It's kind of an odd shape for a placemat, but it could be used to put like a hot pan or hot pot on, then on your counter if you want it to have something like that, or just something to have as a centerpiece in your table. So I'm going to finish stitching this, and then I think I might do it like a quilted, a mini quilt, and do some stitching on it with my back at that again after a little break. But anyway, the French General also has these really cool embroidery hoops that have this kind of fun metal thing that you clamp on. So it's kind of fun. It's the first time I've used it, and I kind of like it. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that. It's just kind of a fun project. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think it's going to end up being a gift in the end. I have, I made another purchase that I'm really excited about. I bought these wonderful scissors from Twig and Horn, and I bought 2 pair, and they're American made. These are just giant shears wonderful for fabric, and they're so sharp and substantial, kind of. So those are really fun. And then these, of course, are wonderful little, I love these cases. These are great snips. These are perfect size for doing pom-poms. You need a bit of a longer blade when you're doing pom-poms, and they fit really nicely into those pom-pom makers, right into that ridge. So I've been doing a lot of pom-pom making lately. So anyway, these are really cool. They're Heritage brand, and they are from Made in America. So you might want to check those out if you get a chance. I just got those, and I'm really happy with them. I think they're really lovely and wonderful. And Twig and Horn, of course, is a branch of Quince & Co. It's a sister company to Quince & Co., who recently just published a new book from me, and it's called Kindred Knits, Knitting for Little Ones Near and Far, and I'm very proud of this. This was probably about 4 years in the making, maybe. So we started talking about this project a long time, 3-4 years ago, and it just came out this fall. And I'm thrilled that they included my illustrations in the book. So that's the back of the book. I drew this little clothesline with some of the projects on it. But what it includes are all kinds of patterns for little kids and babies and toddlers. There's a hat. I'll just read you the patterns. There's a basic baby cardigan, a short-sleeved cardigan with stripes, an empire waist cardigan, a hooded cardigan, a leaf top baby hat, a sweet leaf blanket, a doll cardigan, and a tiny sweater ornament cardigan. So you can kind of get an overview of some of the projects in here. There's a nice variety. They come in sizes newborn up to 24 months. But the coolest thing about this book is that there's instruction. There's another one of my little pieces of artwork. There's so much instructional information in here. This was actually a class that I taught for a while on knitting baby cardigans, and then taking a t-shirt. So you could take any size you want a t-shirt. You could do a child size 10, a 4T size, whatever size it is that if it's not included in here, you can easily come up with the correct size sweater on your own. And this is probably my favorite little illustration here. There's a little child looking at a cat, and that's the whole leafy kind of cute set there. And the little ornaments are so cute. But there's an extended, there's like a worksheet in the back. It's a cardigan worksheet, and you can just take some measurements off a t-shirt, and you can make any size cardigan you want. And that includes, you could even do up to an adult size cardigan. So there's some really basic steps that you can take. Just take a few measurements, fill in this little worksheet information, and then you're on your way to making whatever size cardigan you want to make. And it's really handy because a lot of times I find I make something up to a certain size, and then whatever size I don't include, I have people asking me how, if I have that size, or how I could make that size. And then this book will actually show you exactly how to do that. I'm really proud of this, and I want to thank Quince & Co. for doing such a beautiful job. All the projects are knit in their worsted weight lark yarn in a variety of colors, so you can really go crazy with this little cardigan pattern. You don't have to add so many buttons. You could just add a few on the top. You could space them out farther, but you can add in different striping patterns, you know, all sorts of things on these kind of very basic patterns. So they're really fun and nice to have around. So that was really a treat this fall to have that come out. And oh my gosh, what else has happened this fall? I guess I can show you these cute little kittens that I had come out, and they're called the Sleepy Kitten set, and it's from Making Magazine. It came out in the number 4. Making Magazine Lines is just such a beautiful magazine by Carrie Bostic Hogue. There's so many projects in here, and they're really knit heavy projects too. Oh, and this, by the way, these I want to make. I gathered these stones from Maine when I was on a Maine beach, and I got all these kind of fun, odd-shaped stones, and I want to do some of these coverings for these because I love these. I gathered these up when I was with my husband and son. I don't know, this one's really odd-shaped, so I don't know if that will work, but and then I also found this little heart-shaped stone, and I want to make a crochet covering and then make this into a necklace, like chain a necklace, really thin string, and chain a necklace, and have this heart so I can wear this around my neck. I think that'd be really cool. But anyway, there's so many good projects in here. Carrie's really added a lot of knit. Oh, and here's exactly what we're talking about, this visible mending. This is that whole boro style stitching where it's usually straight lines or going, you know, either direction in straight lines. That's what I was learning in that class. So that's kind of what I was talking about. Maybe I'll do some stitching on this for that. I think I will. But anyway, there's so many good projects in here. Recipes. Oh my goodness, you guys should totally subscribe to this. But here's my kitten project that I was telling you about, the Sleepy Kitten set. They are knit in a worsted weight yarn. The kitten's little nightie, these are pajamas, stripy pajamas, and the nightie is knit in a fingering weight yarn. So this one's just a plain kitten, Sleepy Kitten, and then she has a nightgown with lines. So the theme was lines. And then Carrie Bostic Hogue, who's the editor of the Making Magazine, sent me the striped fabric, lined fabric, and I made 2 little sleeping bags or beds for the kittens, and they fit right in these cute little sleeping bags. So this is a really sweet toy, and I think little kids would really enjoy having their little kittens and putting them to bed. We had some kits for these too at Barrett Wool Co, and we'll bring back more soon, and I might be doing some more in some different colors. I started, this one is a kitten. You start with the little feet and legs. That's how the pattern starts. And you then knit the limbs first, and the ears and the tail, and then you start knitting the body, and then you knit all the appendages in as you work along up the toy. So it's completely seamless, except for the head of the kitten is then knit separately and then stitched on in the round. So I'm knitting one in black right now, and then that will have a sweet little white creamy face to it. And this one is knit in Barrett Wilco's Home fingering weight, and worsted weight, excuse me. And then we'll have some fun kits coming out in maybe some different colors for the kittens too. So I think that's going to be really fun, a fun project anyway coming up. I have this needle holder here that I got from the scrappy thread, and it is so nice. It's all quilted, pieced fabric together, and then she did these quilting lines in it. I absolutely love all the detail on it. This little tape measure cord there, but that's from the scrappy thread, and I really love that. I think I got a bag from her too, but that's a really nice DPN. It's extra thick and nice, so if you want to check that out, that would be really good. So I also have a pair of socks I've been working on forever. This one I have my tape measure from Never Not Knitting, Alana Dacos. This one's a sailboat. This was like her summer season. Fortunately, it's not going in right now, so I don't know if it's something I'm doing or... Anyway, and then I've got this pair of socks that I'm working on for my son, and I think I haven't gotten very far on these because I haven't been knitting very much. I have them on the Knit Pro Zings in the zeros, and I finished the heel. And I've got the leg done, so I've got a ways to go on the foot here. But this is this opal sock yarn that's really a light opal. It's only 3 plies, and I think they normally have 4 plies. And so it's a lighter weight. So I'm knitting on a size 0, a 2.0 millimeter, and it's getting a real nice fabric. But I think my son is always asking me for a lighter weight sock, and I did knit some in a cotton wool blend just to see if that'd be a little lighter, and I don't think he could even tell the difference at all. So with the lighter weight and the finer gauge, I'm gonna see if that will help the situation. I'm using my Smooth Operator Socks pattern with this wonderful afterthought heel technique and the lines are just so thin. I don't know if you guys can even really see them. There's just like this one little line that goes down on the heel, and I'll use that same technique for the toe too, so there's not kind of that wide bar that looks a little bit awkward on the heels. And I have this beautiful Never Not Knitting bag with poppies on. No, are those ranunculus or poppies? I can't remember, but really pretty flowers on it's kind of a linen bag, and I really like that one. There, I got that to go back in. But that's really cute, kind of a covered tape measure there. And then I have another sock that I'm working on. I have a finished sock here. It's the Sweater Weather, Rhinebeck Sweater Weather, if I could say it. And again, I used my Smooth Operator Socks pattern. You can see how completely almost seamless the socks look all the way down to the toe here, the other end. This is by the Nomadic Yarns, and I've gotten a little farther on the second sock, but not a lot farther on the second one, which is right here. And I have this in my Luli, no, it's not. It's Renee of the Lowland Originals bag, and I always like this kind of scrappy quilted bags. This is one of my all-time favorite bags. So I'm looking around. I have a bunch of books that I recently picked up and received as gifts, and also as one is a preview book that I got. So I have this, I love Mac Barnett and John Clausen. And this was a really fun children's book that I picked up. I do collect children's books. I don't have a giant collection of them, but I'm really very selective about my children's books that I pick up, and I have to have like. So anyway, any book by Mac Barnett I love, and John Clausen does these illustrations, and they're always fantastic and interesting and different. This one's called The Wolf, the Duck, and the Mouse, and it's a really cute book, and you may want to check that out if you're looking for a fun book for a child. This one is, oh my gosh, I love this so much. It's called The Little Reindeer, Nicola Killen, and I had gotten a gift certificate for my birthday to Barnes & Noble, and then I used it to go pick out this book, and it's called, again, The Little Reindeer, and it's so sweet, and the illustrations I love. It's really basically black and white with just these little bursts of color in them. It's just so cute. I love it. So anyway, it says, on the night before Christmas, Ollie is fast asleep dreaming of Christmas morning until, jingle, 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 Ollie hears the sound of gentle ringing bells. Jingle, jingle, jingle. The soft chiming bells are coming from across the hill. What could they be on this most magical of nights, Christmas Eve? And this little Ollie goes on an adventure. But again, just look, I mean, look at that, how cute that is. It's so sweet. I just love, I'm so inspired all the time by children's book illustration. This one I love too. It has these cutout pages. And so, you know, on this side, it's looking at trees, and then over here, it turns into a house. That cut up, that kind of thing I think is so clever, and it keeps kids really interested while you're reading the books. I got this sweet holiday cookies book from my son for my birthday, and I have some picked out in here that I want to start cooking. I think it's full swing holiday baking and cooking time. I really want to do these, the black and white cookies. I've never made black and white cookies, and I absolutely love to eat them, but I have never made them from scratch, so I think it's time that I try. I think these are so cute looking. They're kind of rustic. So that's one. I'm actually going to fold that page because I want to make those. I'm a dog ear person. I like to dog ear. I made my favorite ginger snaps last night, and they got eaten up really quick. I think these look really good too. I love an oatmeal cookie dipped in chocolate. That looks really good too. Anyway, this is a really nice cookie book, and it's kind of fun to get a new, you know, holiday book. So that's kind of fun. So that was a fun, nice gift. I was sent the Geometry of Hand Sewing. It's a Natalie Chanin book, who does the Alabama Studio, Alabama Stitch Book, Alabama Studio Style, Alabama Studio Sewing and Design, and the Alabama Studio Sewing Projects. Those are all of her books. This is her new one, The Geometry of Hand Sewing, which is something I really love to do. You can tell by my interest in all that stitching projects. So this is published by Abrams, and they sent me a copy to review. It's a spiral bound book on the inside, and just all kinds of stitches and sewing, but along the way. But what's really unique is that there's this sewing card. It's like this kind of, is that called vellum, that paper? And you can use that as a guide for your stitching. So there are 2 of these vellum stitch guides in there that you can lay on your fabric and actually use to help with your stitching. So it's really unique. It's a play on those child sewing cards. She talks about that a little bit in here, but if you're into hand stitching at all, I have an Alabama Chanin skirt that I've been working on for about 4 years. I haven't put the time into it. I have made some good progress, but someday I'm going to be wearing that skirt. I'll never want to take it off because it took me so long to finish it, but I still love it, and I am going to finish it at some point. The last book I purchased, this one, it's 260 Exquisite Patterns by Hitomi Shida. It's a Japanese knitting stitch Bible. It has translated with an introduction by Gail Rom. So she is the one who is credited with this beautiful, gorgeous book. That's Gail Rom, but the patterns are intricate, complicated, and they are written out so that you can understand them. I mean, they're so intricate and beautiful. Anyway, I want to really sit down with this and spend some time. There's cabling. Oh, they're fascinating and gorgeous. Anyway, it'd be really fun to put a panel into there. And then there are even some little patterns in there too. Those are so cute. Oh, so cute. I love them. All right, I think, oh no, I'm not even at the end of my road here. Oh, I got some really fun gifts from students. I'll just go through some of them. Some tea, Market Spice. It's wild huckleberry tea. Really excited about it. Huckleberry tea. That looks really good. I can drink it in my new mug. That looks so wonderful. Oh, one of the gifts we got was from the Edmonton Knit for Fun retreat for Ann Budd, was this portable scale. So it's a digital pocket scale. I'm really excited to give that a try. Oh my gosh, Tracy of the Grocery Girls gave me this adorable bag, little project bag. You could probably fit a sock project in there, I bet. But I love, you know me, I love all this stuff on there. And I think this is a local person to her, Studio Britta. And I've heard Tracy talk about her before too on the podcast, Tracy and Jody, on the Grocery Girls. And they have some little pins that they've come out with, a grocery cart with yarn balls in it. It's so cute. So I'm going to be putting that in one of my bags for sure, so I can think about all the fun times. I got another, I haven't even opened it up yet, but it's the tote bag from Jody from Mrs. Brown's Bags. I love her stuff. I'm not online fast enough ever to get one of her bags, so she gifted me this beautiful tote bag and then these handmade buttons from Remembrance Pottery. There are a bunch of buttons in there. I'll probably end up taking a photo of this and actually sharing it. This is one of Tracy's tote bags, which are just, I mean, I literally would never be able to get one of those. I got all these cute buttons from Remembrance Pottery. I love her stuff. I'm a big fan, but look at how giant this tote bag is. Huge, with these straps, and it has these 2 pockets. This is Mrs. Brown's Bags, and she makes the knitted swatches of fabric and then has them turned into knitted swatches from actual yarn, like the real thing, and then she has them turned into fabrics that she can sew and make her bags with. And she does a killing on those because you can never get them. They're always sold out, and she can't keep them in her shop. I won't even try to put it back in my bag. It's too wonderful, and I want to use it anyway. I got another Mrs. Brown's bag here, this one. Knit, Sleep, Repeat. Love the Grocery Girls. Big, huge, chunky stitches on this one, which I love. And then I even got another little Mrs. Brown's bag. So I got 3 of them. I see my husband's right out there raking, raking at the, we did have snow yesterday, but it didn't stick. So, oh, I got all kinds of little stuff here. We got stitch markers and needle protectors. This is from the Ann Budd Knit for Fun retreat. River Cities Yarns. I got an Ann Budd tattoo. Oh, you know what I love Ann Budd's been doing? She gives you a nail file, which I love, and I always have in my notions pouch. Pin. Oh, bag of tea. Oh my gosh, that's so, smells really good. Oh no, that's not even, that's a moth away. Don't drink that. That's moth away. I thought it was a bag of tea. It smells really good. Smells good enough to eat. Oh, and then Anne gives you this little notebook filled with sticky notes, which are great. Another little pin. Anyway, good fun stuff. I'm looking through it kind of for the first time here. Oh, we got Try It On tubing, which I love. What else do we get? Oh, we got these, you know those, oh, I was wearing mine, but those wrist rulers. that are like tape measures on leather that you can wrap around your wrist. I have a couple of those now. I love those. Got a little dish from Sharon Sekar, that wonderful potter who does all those great pottery things. And then got some more yarn, but that's about it really. So that was a really fun retreat, but I have a lot of cleanup to do. My entire kitchen table is now covered with things, but I just wanted to check in. I have some patterns coming out. I forgot, the last thing I was going to show now that I'm saying goodbye is I wanted to show my Birkin sweater that I'm working on. I have the sleeve. I think I have like 3 more rounds on the sleeve, so I've been working away on this. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and it's this fantastic top-down yoked, colorwork yoked sweater, and it has this beautiful floral and leaf pattern on it. I'm just absolutely thrilled with it. The bottom has a split hem. I've tried it on. I've done Instagram stories a couple times, and I've tried it on, and it fits just beautifully. I can't wait to block it because I think this top section will really kind of stretch out and relax a little bit. But it fits really nicely now. It's not a problem at all. And I was telling people on Instagram too, I always put this little stitching here on the back of the neck. It doesn't show through at all on the outside there. It's just this kind of little stitching, and so when I'm getting dressed, I can know which is the back. So it's sort of like the tag in the back of your sweater. So anyway, I'm almost done with that, and we will be eventually having some kits for this on Barrett Wool Co. We'll have a very limited supply, and then hopefully our fun Wisconsin local mill will be able to kind of catch up with us, because we've been hitting it pretty hard over there, and so they're kind of catching up on some projects, and then maybe we can jump back in with them and start getting a lot more things in the shop again, like the Sven and Solveig and the Birkin kits, and hopefully we can get some more branches and buds kits, all that good fun stuff that I know people like so much. But that's Caitlin Hunter. Birkin is Birkin. If you want to look it up, it's a beautifully fun colorwork fingering weight sweater that is so fun. I'm wearing my Carrie Bostic Hogue Louise sweater. If you're wondering, it's made out of Quince & Co. Osprey. Has this great color blocking, and I can't remember if it had pockets or if I added pockets, but I added some pockets on it. So in case I get asked about my Louise sweater, I think you guys, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed chatting with me today. I had, I guess, a couple adventures to talk about, but anyway, it's been a super busy fall. I have a little break here from traveling until January. I'm going to be at Vogue Knitting Live. A few of my classes have sold out, but I think there's some spots in a couple other classes. So if you want to pop into a class, it's from January 12th to 14th in, of course, New York City, right in Times Square. It's one of the best retreats ever, knitting events ever on earth. Best location ever. It's a lot of fun. So I hope to see you there if you're going to be around New York City at that time. What else? I guess that's about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my ARV hat that I knit from Tanis Gray. This is Tanis's project. These are the field color, morning sky, and red flannel, worsted weight. So I'm going to leave you with my ARV hat. I'm going to head out and get out there in the wild outdoors and do some hiking and walking for the rest of the day. But bye knitters, have a great weekend and week ahead, and I will hopefully pop back on here real soon and chat with you again. Okay, bye.